Hey everyone, this is a walkthrough video of my patch Neon Crush. This is in my patch book up on Patreon. If you're interested in patches like this, I hope you check it out. I like to do deep dive videos of the patches and different techniques and things and put links in that patch book. If you're watching this in real time, I'll be updating it periodically with new patches and new videos. So if you're watching from sometime in the future, there's likely a whole bunch of links in that patch book with a whole bunch of patches. Once again, when I design patches like this, I really like to try to highlight particular features of the Matriarch, and that's what we're going to do today. So this patch is different from the last one that I did, where that was kind of like this drone and atmospheric evolving pad. In this one, it's going to be something that you want to play as a lead line. This is where we're going with the patch. But for now, we're just going to start off and patch it up slowly so I can explain what's going on. So first of all, I'm going to set all my settings just like the patch diagram. I think I'm pretty close right now. And of course, a lot of these settings you can kind of adjust to your own taste and make this patch your own. But let's explain what's going on first with everything. So I've got the 4 oscillators. We're in unison mode. And with these oscillators, I have them at different octaves. 2 and 4 are at a different octave than 1 and 3. 1 and 3 have triangle waves, and 2 and 4 have square waves. So let's turn down the delay so we can hear the oscillators. For the mix, I have them turned up all the way, and I want to remind you that when you turn up the oscillators all the way, what's going to happen is it's going to add some overdrive saturation sounds. So that's something that I wanted to bring out because this was a lead. And then I've added a little bit of noise. With the filter section, this is an update from when I first posted this patch, but I turned this to the series filter mode. And the reason I did that is because this is a lead line, and sometimes I like to have lead lines have bandpass filters. I think it cuts through the mix a little bit better. And so by turning the spacing knob down and turning it to series, we can create that nice bandpass sound. And you can hear it if I turn it back to stereo mode. Try and really hear the low end on there. And then if I turn it to series, you can really hear the low end come out. So that's why bandpasses work so well for lead lines. It's not going to get in the way of that bass sound. Actually, I'm really just liking the sound like this with no patching. It sounds really good in these lower octaves. But of course, if you wanted it to be a bass sound, you would turn it to the stereo mode, and that would really fill out that bass sound. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the patching points and some of the things that I think makes this interesting. And I'll also highlight, I did make some changes from when I first put out this patch. I did it in a video a long time ago. You can just ignore that video and it's much better the way I've set it up now. So the first thing that we're gonna look at is the sample and hold out. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, what the sample and hold out does is it takes the noise and it, wherever the rate hits, whenever the wave cycle starts over again, it samples where the noise is and creates and levels it off until it starts again. So it creates a stepped voltage. Now there's so many different ways you can use that step voltage. I like to have it go through an attenuator so that way we can control it a little bit more. And since we're going to send it out to a couple places, we'll put it into our multiplier. Now, one great place to put sample and holds is into cutoffs. So if we turn down the envelope amount, you can hear try to pay attention to this light. It's set to like a shark fin waveform. And so notice how whenever it goes dark, it's basically starting again. So it's going to set a new sample line. And you can hear that since it's going in the cutoff, every time it clicks over, it's going to just go to some random amount. So that's kind of cool. And if we turn it up faster, it's picking new frequencies for the cutoff knob. And if we turn it down like this, then it won't be quite as dramatic. So we're also going to put that out and send it to the rate in of our LFO over here. And so that means that this is going to be moving slightly, but it's not going to be moving at a smooth rate. It'll be going at stepped intervals. So you'll see this kind of jump around. Sometimes it'll go fast, sometimes slow, and it'll change every time this resets. So if we set it down here to a slower setting, you know, you won't hear it as much, or it won't change as much. And we'll take that out because we want to attenuate that too. And we'll send this into the envelope mount. So that it'll be changing this, but the rate that it's kind of moving around will be set by the sample and hold, and of course attenuated right here. So let's just listen to where we're at right now. It's kind of cool as that rate changes. And then as there's a little bit of the cutoff amount here, and since this is a saw wave, if we turn up our mod wheel, then you know the cutoff will be slowly moving up, and it's attenuated here, so it's not much, but it'll be slowly moving up, and that mixes with the sample and hold, and it creates this kind of cool effect. So that's pretty nice. So we got some warbling, we got some filtering going on. It's pretty cool stuff. So this is really right here. I mean, the patch is pretty much done. That warbling sound is really what makes it. I'm going to add the delay in. And of course you can adjust it to your taste. Now the one other patch point that I put in there was there's two different ways you could do it. How I listed it on the diagram was to come out of the back, the keyboard gate into the sync in. So what that does is it makes it so that the sample and hold, rather than sampling at rather than sampling every time the waveform, the wave cycle restarts, it's going to set a sample for the gate. So if you hold it, particularly if you set it to a low rate, notice those were different. And that's because what's going to happen is it's going to sample the noise every time you push a key. So it'll set a different cutoff amount at every time you push a new key. That's pretty cool stuff. And if you wanted to, you could take it out of here. If you were using the sequencer, you could take the gate out of the sequencer and plug it in there as well. So I've got a little sequence set up. Let's just play that. I really think it shines though when it's coming out of that keyboard gate. So that's the patch. It's pretty simple, but it adds some really cool effects. And of course, the more you dial it into whatever track you're playing on or whatever the background music is, the better it'll sound out. But I really wanted to highlight in this is that we are using the series mode for the filter to create that bandpass filter sound. Also that you can use gates into the sync in to control how often the sample and hold will sample the noise, and it can set different varying stepped voltages for every time you push a key. So there you have it. I hope that got some creative juices flowing and that maybe you can create a patch that uses some of these ideas. Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you're interested in more patches, of course, check out my Patreon page. I'd love to meet people on there and get to know you. So definitely sign up there, reach out to me. I'd really appreciate it. Either way, make sure you're liked and subscribed. In the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some add-ons and how you could expand this into Eurorack. I'll give you a few ideas for first modules and maybe just some ways that if you wanted to dip your toe into Eurorack, you could get going. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.